the revelation of Baha'u'llah, whose supreme mission is none other but the achievement of this organic and spiritual unity of the whole body of nations, should, if we be faithful to its implications, be regarded as signalizing through its advent the coming of age of the entire human race.
The achievement of this organic and spiritual unity is reflected in the process of building the last continental temple on earth, the Temple of Light in Chile. It is reflected in the organic qualities of design, of variation, and of order, of light, of reflectance, and of translucence.
The theme of the temple is light, and there was this one quote from the Seven Valleys which was so important to all of us. Whensoever the light of manifestation of the King of Oneness settleth upon the throne of the heart and soul, his shining becomes visible in every limb and member. At that time the mystery of the famed tradition gleameth out of the darkness. A servant is drawn unto me in prayer until I answer him. And when I have answered him, I become the ear wherewith he heareth. For thus the master of the house hath appeared within his home, and all the pillars of the dwelling are ashine with his light. And I thought, this is like phenomenal passage. And how do we make a building where all of the pillars of the edifice are ashine with his light? We didn't want it to be this.
Central to the development design of the temple was an understanding of an organic process. The creative team from Hariri Poncherini Architects of Toronto, Canada, engaged in an extensive process of discovery in the organic nature of this design. Mr. Siamek Hariri, the architect for the temple, explains, "The wings, identical in form, are organically shaped and twisted slightly to produce a nest-like structure, a soft, undulating dome positioned around a raised base. The forms and organisms of phenomenal being and existence in each of the kingdoms of the universe are myriad and numberless."
What if a temple could have the extraordinary feeling of sitting underneath a canopy of trees?
The vegetable plane or kingdom, for instance, has its infinite variety of types and material structures of plant life, each distinct and different within itself, no two exactly alike in composition and detail.
Right out of the Seven Valleys, where you say, this kind of, he was searching in the dirt.
For there are no repetitions in nature, and the virtue augmentative cannot be confined to any given image or shape.
We knew what we were looking for, we just hadn't found it yet.
Each leaf has its own particular identity, so to speak, its own individuality as a leaf.
Whatever we do, we want it to have this idea of movement, capture this sense of movement.
Not only becomes imbued with the powers and virtues of the kingdoms it traverses, but also reflects the attributes and qualities of the forms and organisms of those kingdoms.
And this moment happened, and it was like, wow, what's this? We didn't know what it was, but it's just happened upon us. And it has all of those qualities which we were looking for in a way.
As each of these forms has its own individual and particular virtue, therefore each elemental atom of the universe has the opportunity of expressing an infinite variety of those individual virtues.
The softness, you see the movement, it's got the symmetry, but at the same time it's got the variousness that we were interested in, this kind of diversity of form. And this moment happened, and it was like, wow.
During the day, the soft undulating alabaster and glass skin forms the outer expression. At night, the image reverses itself, the entire volume then becoming a warm, totalized glow, with the inner form of the building visible through the glass. The temple, notable for its absence of straight lines, will rise amidst an extensive radiating garden, comprising 9 reflecting lily pools and 9 prayer gardens.
When we observe the world of created phenomena, we discover that each atom of the atoms of substance is moving through the various degrees and kingdoms of organic life. For instance, consider the ethereal element which is penetrating and traveling through all the contingent realities. When there is vibration or movement in the ethereal element, the eye is affected by that vibration and beholds what is known as light.
And so this really was the very original concept, is this building that somehow is constructed light, is structured light. This whole idea that it becomes a sister temple to the mother temple of the West, which is this temple of light. And it sits alongside that as perhaps a reinvention or a reinterpretation of that same theme of light.
From that point of light, the spirit of teaching, spreading the cause of God, will permeate to all parts of the world.
I would say there's been 1.5 years to 2 years of technical development and engineering of this project. So it's really an extraordinary moment in the life of this project that we've sort of moved now to the next phase, which is the detailed testing and the fabrication of the temple.
Building the temple in Chile is now an extension of the Kingdom Project. As we celebrate the victory of achieving the first phase of the Kingdom Project, we can now move on to new goals. Plans for the new Visitor Center at the Mother Temple of the West are now near completion, and the process of building the Temple of Light is now on our horizon. It is a privilege so priceless.